Hi everyone, I hope you're having a good day today. In this video, I wanted to do something special. I'm almost done decorating my first island, so before I update the dream address there, I wanted to do a tour of the dream that I uploaded back in July. So as we're about to dream of this version of my first island, Jeju, I wanted to share some personal thoughts. When I started this island, I had no idea or plan, let alone a greater theme or a concept in mind. I saw that the native fruit of the island was oranges, and I thought of Jeju Island, which I had visited just last year, and thus the name. It's cliche, but I never expected this game to turn out to be an empty canvas with endless possibilities. But it ended up working really well for me because it wasn't intimidating like an empty canvas tend to be. And I think even now, with the knowledge of what could be, I can feel comfortable with what is because this version of Jeju exists. So I wanted to memorialize it by documenting my trip across the island. And with that, welcome to the wonderful island of Jeju. Good morning, it's around 5 a.m. in Jeju right now. There are some presents and tools in front of the Resident Services Center, so let's check them out first. In combination with my default outfit, the random items that I've gifted seem almost comical. I included an axe in case anyone wanted to hack away at the trees and de-stress on my island, but I didn't even think of using it myself. But here is the Jeju airport, and traditionally where the entrance would be. Hello, hello! I didn't have a lot of room between the airport and the Resident Services Center, so I blocked off the entrance with cliffs and waterfalls to separate the areas a little bit. I also wanted to flex my lily of the valleys. And before I forget, let's check out the map. Starting from the top right corner of the map, Kyo, that's me, and Ronnie are island's ethnobotanist and my alter ego. There is a very neat residential district with my OG villagers Sylvia and Dom, and a few residents on the second level. The rest of the island, I think, is better explained on foot, so let's start with the left side. So, what I loved about Jeju Island was its diversity in flora. The subtropical climate allows harmonious existence of many unique species that as a Korean, I never imagined finding in mainland Korea. It is an island filled with lush landscapes of palms, flowering shrubs, especially hydrangeas in the summer, crazy old pines, and of course, oranges. So that was sort of on my mind as I started working on Jeju 1.0. Across the diagonal bridge was my best attempt at recreating the bustling and chaotic wet markets in Korea. I also held my second flea market event here with around 30 people visiting across 3 days. We had a lot of fun and it was as chaotic as ever, so if you want to check out that session, the videos are on my IGTV. Looking at the market area especially, I think my old designs were focused on functionality and using the items faithfully rather than trying to recreate something to look real or making things look aesthetic but perhaps not logical. I think I still struggle with that suspension of disbelief, even though I literally play a game with talking animals who are my neighbors. But, I really can't help myself sometimes. This walkway leads to a cozy tucked away campsite. Campsite was one of the first areas I designed, and I was so proud to see how it improved and evolved over time. Also, if you have an amiibo card for anyone, you can use it to invite a villager before updating the dream address, and the tent will be up in the dream but no one inside it. Personally, I find the empty campsite a bit weird, so I liked being able to have the tent up. Now I'm walking on the beach boardwalk, where I imagine my villagers would take a walk, sit down for coffee or tea, and relax a little, or just zoom in circles. It ultimately ends at a relaxing outdoor bath by the lighthouse, which is not a realistic area at all, but I found it so comforting, and it used to be my favorite place to just hang out. Crossing over the bridge again, let's now take a look at the other side of the island. I had intended this walk to be kind of foresty, magical, and like fairycore inspired, but I never actually planted the trees or was able to get any more mush items, which is why it looks a bit empty. The road leads to the entrance to what I envisioned as a fancy restaurant in the middle of the forest. I loved how I was able to separate the kitchen and the dining area with different flooring patterns, and how I used a basic panel design to create the wall. I wanted to make a second floor to add dimensionality to the restaurant, and if I had the liberty of adding an incline here, it would have been perfect. Despite how unplanned this build was, I think this is still one of my favorite designs from this version of the island. Does anyone stomp on flowers and make a mess in Dream Islands? I feel kind of rude, so I try to walk around respectfully, but it's a bit cathartic to do it on my own dream. This pink mermaid cafe diner build is my first attempt at dimensionality with cluttering. I also later built a mermaid castle on the peninsula behind this cafe. I wish I had updated my dream address one more time toward the end of summer because the castle looked beautiful with the fireworks. But one day I just felt like it didn't fit the island, so I destroyed it. Another seasonal build was this diving cliff that I never did get to decorate. Instead, I put all my energy into designing this beautiful community pool.
Depression creeps up on you quietly.
I struggled with filling small random spaces between large builds, but for bigger builds I usually had a vision, and putting things together to achieve that felt like I was solving a puzzle. The outdoor library was one of the first of these projects that I envisioned and carried out, and this is actually its third iteration because I kept moving it and changing it around. I wanted the villagers to use it, so I hid a stairway to the second level residential area, and then I moved Molly there so she could live surrounded by books and flowers because she is an angel and she deserves all the best things. Speaking of angels, here is another one of my angels, Ketchup. I built the stage for Ketchup on her birthday so she could sing and dance to her heart's desire. And of course, we have to talk to Molly. I really wanted to design a narrow path leading to the secret beach since the very beginning. I built this bar area inspired by the pirate items and Red's visits for the summer fireworks. I imagined pirates getting off the ship, hanging their dirty laundry here unwillingly, and then getting a drink. Initially, I had shops right behind the Resident Services Center, but I wanted something that felt more like a place of gathering for the community. I ended up loving the white marble tiles and the plant shop addition with the palm trees in the back. Sorry, Molly. This walkway leads to the white wooden bridge to the museum. I keep saying that this is one of my favorite builds, but this bridge was one of everyone's favorite builds somehow. To this day, I don't think I have anything that surpasses the love this bridge received. My museum entrance is otherwise not too special. It has a couple of coveted fossils on display, and it is adjacent to the experimental fruit orchard. As everyone says, the beaches were so difficult to decorate for me. I have a random playground here, a small sitting area of some sort, someone's living room, and finally the outdoor community laundromat, also used as an alteration shop when Sable finally has some free time on her claws. So that's all for Jeju 1.0. One major thing I noticed during my tour is that a lot of spaces didn't have intention. I don't know if you're familiar with home design channels like HGTV, but the quality of interior design improves when each space has a unique designated intention. Although I'm no expert, I think that concept also applies when decorating the exteriors in the game. I guess you can let me know if I've improved on my intentions when I next tour Jeju 2.0. But even as I say all of this, I remember having so much fun building this version of my island. And at the end of the day, that's more important than good designs. At least that's what I think. Anyway, thank you so much for coming with me today. I hope you have a good day or good night, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.